This is the Whole Care Network. Helping you tell your story one podcast at a time. Content presented in the following podcast is for information purposes only. Views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the host and guest and may not represent the views and opinions of the Whole Care Network. Always consult with your physician for any medical advice, and always consult with your attorney for any legal advice. And thank you for listening to the Whole Care Network.
The following podcast sometimes offers unusual solutions to usual problems. These solutions are meant for qualified agencies or individuals to put into action. And I'd be willing to bet that's not you. Listen, folks, we don't take ourselves too seriously. Neither should you. So, let's go have a laugh. Welcome to Unscrew It Up. I'm Josh.
I'm Amanda.
And this is the show that attempts to suggest differently twisted solutions to life's little problems. So last week we talked about birthdays. And as much as I tried, I could not stop the forward march of time. We still got to have them.
Do you know how many days old you are now? Or months old or minutes old?
No. I stopped counting.
That was just for that episode.
When you're in the order of the millions, then you just want to stop counting.
If you're not sure what we're talking about, go back and listen to last week's episode where Josh has decided we need a different way to mark the passage of time.
A better way. So y'all go listen. We went and we saw The Little Mermaid this past week, didn't we?
We did.
So that inspired me.
So many things could it have inspired. What, are you going to grow your hair out and grow a tail?
What?
Grow your hair out like her mermaid's hair and have a tail and be a mermaid.
Oh, no. I didn't know that was an option. No, what I'm going to do is I was inspired to task Wilson Technologies to come up with this amazing new place for people to go to feel better.
Okay. Like the movie theater?
No. So if you're not familiar with Wilson Technologies is a subsidiary of Familiar Wilson's Media. They are the research arm of what we do, and they bring all of these amazing ideas that I take to them. They bring them to life, supposedly, although they have not done thing one yet.
Well, because they're focusing on the research and not the development. You told them they were the research arm, but you need to also let them know they're the development arm as well.
I'm not a good CEO. I just got a letter from the folks at Wilson Technologies complaining about the working conditions.
Oh, yes. Where are they working?
Well, they're imaginary. They're in my mind, and they're not very happy there. It's a messy, chaotic place, my mind.
Okay. All right. Apologies to all the voices in Josh's head.
Anyway, what I've done is I have come up with an idea for a themed salon based on The Little Mermaid, and I want Wilson Technologies to flesh it out.
Okay.
Listen, the movie was great, so immersive, so beautiful, kind of made me want to live under the sea. So, but also...
The reason I'm laughing is not just because of how you said it. You also did your arms out and flap like you were a stingray. The folks can't see that, but that made it that much better.
We need to fold video into this whole experience, don't we?
Yes.
Another thing that's very important to us here at the Wilsons is sustainability, is being kind to the environment, is leaving the world better than we found it. And that, of course, also applies to our animal friends.
Okay.
How can we partner with our friends in the sea for an enjoyable, beneficial salon experience?
You know
That's
this
the
already
question.
happens.
No, go ahead.
You
Go
know
ahead.
that they have the fish pedicures.
Yes, but they're not going far enough, is what I'm saying.
Okay, all right. Please tell me how we can take this further.
So there's so many different animals in the sea that do things that would be lovely in a salon experience. So yes, we have the fish pedicures where you put your feet in the pan and the fish feast.
Yes.
They're loving it. It's a bunion buffet.
A bunion buffet. Oh my God. But imagine, like, depending on where you've traversed, the different sort of culinary experiences the fish get.
It's great. It's like going to a different restaurant. There's also like gobies and fishes called wrasses that also clean, so they can attend to the rest of your skin too.
Okay.
You know, like what is it called? Exfoliate or
Yes, exfoliation.
So they can do that. For your hair, you need something other than a fish. So they have these Pacific cleaner shrimp and peppermint shrimp. They're small crustaceans that clean other fish and even more eels. Little tiny little hands. Well, not hands.
Little hands.
But they can attend to your hair, get it nice and clean and all the bad stuff out of it. Of course, you know, if you want a nice massage, no better animal than an octopus.
That's true.
Like they can just wrap their tentacles around and just gently squeeze, and oh, how lovely and like they can get multiple places at once.
That's right.
For those who are into the more high-tech type of massage, electric eels. Right?
Right.
Because they already have those devices that you can even get at the pharmacy.
The electrical stimulation things.
Yeah. So those as well. You can even get tattoos.
By?
Squid ink.
Oh, squid ink. Yes. Okay, my question for you, though, is do you have to be totally immersed for all of this, right? How are you breathing? So the salon is totally underwater? Is everybody in scuba gear?
Well, depending on the service that you have, different parts of you need to be underwater. Like for a facial, you could have a snorkel or something.
But then that's covering up some of your face.
No, it's not. The snorkel?
Oh, well, no, but you have to have the eye.
No, you don't need your eyes open.
Okay.
You're going to want to watch as like little bug-like creatures crawl out. No, absolutely not.
Okay.
So I think that this idea is ripe. Like this is a comedy podcast. I don't think this is a comedy idea. I think that this needs to happen, and Wilson Technologies is going to draw up the plans. They're going to make it happen.
Well, I also think that it's timely tying it in with The Little Mermaid, because merchandise right now is very expensive for this movie because it's really popular and exploding. And so I think this is a great idea for Wilson Technologies to jump on board with or overboard with. See what I did there?
I see what you did there. You're a comedy writer.
That's right.
And again, the idea is not to stress the animals out. This is what they want. This is their food. This is setting them up for a regular meal.
And it can be a 9 to 5. They can go back into the ocean once the day is over.
Yeah, sure. Of course.
And if they like it, they'll just come back. If they don't, then they won't. And you have to hire new people. Or
well, I don't know.
Sea life, as it were.
Don't know what the hiring process would exactly be like. What's your other experience?
That's right. How would you rate yourself on a
Do you
scale
have
of 1 to 10?
references?
Well, there's this whale that I was on the side of for about 3 months. He was satisfied.
Unscrew It Up will be back after these messages.
Do you constantly vacuum up pet hair only to empty your Hoover into the garbage and then do it all over again? Seems like a big waste of time. Time that you could be spending shopping for clothes. Say no more. Introducing the Hairy Vac Fashionator. The Hairy Vac Fashionator not only sucks up fur, but transforms it into high fashion couture. This revolutionary vacuum cleaner turns shedding into trend setting. The Hairy Vac Fashionator has you saying goodbye to clothes shopping and hello to the sheer joy of wearing a sweater made from your kitty's finest fur. Or imagine slipping into socks woven from your precious pup's pompadour. But wait, we're not done yet. What better way to feel closer to your special person than having undergarments crafted from their hair? The Hairy Vac Fashionator has a special human hair attachment, making this dream come true. From cat couture to sexy lingerie made from your lover's locks, we've got you covered, quite literally. The Hairy Vac Fashionator, because fur is the new fabulous, and hair is the new high fashion. But enough of that nonsense. Let's solve the world's problems. Ladies and gentlemen, the Wilsons will now unscrew it up. Hotels. The Wilsons have been in a lot of hotels. Amanda travels a lot for work. And our 6-year-old has basically grown up going to hotels during the 16-year-old's competitive dance season. And this was from, I don't know, Amanda, February to May, right? So he's really...
We traveled at least once, sometimes twice a month for competitions. So he grew up in hotels, and then quarantine happened and he kept asking, when are we going to my hotel? So
right.
He likes hotels more than he likes, I think, destinations. We like destinations, and the hotels are just the necessary means to the end.
Hotel, the etymology of the word hotel, in case you're curious, comes from the French word for hospital, which was then shortened to hostel and then shortened to hotel.
I never made the connection between hostel and hotel.
Yeah, so there you go. It's just the idea of hospitality.
Oh, that's so interesting. Thank you for letting me know about
Well, it's just a piece of information I just happened to have.
Because I was really curious about it. I'm glad that you knew that I was.
It's unknown exactly how many hotels and hotel rooms are in the world, but the estimates are 17.5 million guest rooms in 187,000 hotels.
And now, do we think that's just hotels and not like hostels and motels, or that's like all the places where you can rent a room?
Well, this is hoteltechreport.com. It makes me think that it's more like hotels, like just so any number of other guest rooms beyond that. What U.S. city do you think has more luxury hotels than any other U.S. city?
I mean, my obvious guess is New York.
That is correct.
Yeah.
77 hotels rated either 4 or 5 diamond by AAA.
Wow.
Chicago's second with 42, and Boston and Houston had 29 each.
Oh, the Houston one surprises me.
Houston's
for
a
some
big
reason.
place,
Yeah.
very big city. 9 of the 10 largest hotels in the U.S. are found where?
Vegas.
That is correct. The top 3 are the Venetian with over 7,000 rooms, the MGM Grand and the Signature at over 6,000, almost 7,000. The City Center at slightly less, but still in the 6,000s.
I like a big hotel, and we've stayed at some big hotels. We've never been to Vegas, but we've stayed at the Gaylord Palms, which just by design, the chain, they have like the Gaylord Opryland, they have the Gaylord, the one at the National Mall in DC is like the Gaylord, I don't know, National. The one here at the Gaylord Palms in Orlando, it's giant.
Well, and they're all themed as well. And so the one here in Orlando has a Florida theme where it's got a huge, like a massive atrium area. It's so large you can't even call it an atrium, but the hotel rooms are around this massive center area, and there's like 5 or 6 different sections that are decorated to look like a section of Florida, including a pond that has a restaurant that's built to look like a sailboat on the water.
And that's meant to be South Florida. That's meant to be the Keys. There's the swamp that has live alligators in it. I mean, it's different ecosystems, but it's giant. And the thing is, we love a giant hotel until you have to start walking across it all the time. Because when we would go for competition, we'd have to go all the way over and then back to the room and back and forth.
I didn't mind. It was so cool. Yeah. Especially that one year we got a balcony room.
Yeah, that was
because you're
great.
not assured a balcony room.
Right.
And it was overlooking all that. And it was like you were at a place. It's definitely, the hotel is a destination hotel. And it's really, really cool. But hotels, of course, as you just mentioned, come with their problems. And so what we have done with our experience at hotels is we've come up with some problems and some solutions. We will forward these solutions to an organization or a person to sort this stuff out. Because as nice as hotel travel can be, it can also be miserable.
Who are we sending it to?
This week, we're sending our ideas to British comedian Johnny Vegas.
Okay. I'm a fan of Johnny Vegas. I am concerned that the people with whom he would need to speak would not understand what he was asking them to do, and therefore these solutions would not get implemented.
I know, but it's too much to resist. It's in the name,
right,
Vegas.
Right, you're right.
All the great hotels are in Vegas. Amanda, would you like to go first? State your first problem and your solution to it.
My first problem and solution I know is an issue for you. I'm not sure if it's on your list, but that is that the first night in a hotel is always the hardest to sleep because you're acclimating it being away from home.
Yeah, I don't have that one, so that's
Okay.
good.
But can you speak to that though? Because you do say that it's always the first night is hard because you're just getting used to being in a new place.
Well, it's in a new bed.
Right.
And the second night, I'm usually exhausted
From not sleeping the
from
first
not
night.
sleeping the first night.
Okay.
I can just not ever get comfortable in a new bed. It's a problem. And
And-
especially, like, the real problem is the pillow situation.
Yes.
Hotel pillows always suck. Now, I should have had that as one of my solutions. I didn't even think about it. But hopefully you will have this solved, because I have never, ever put my head down on a hotel pillow the first time and been satisfied. It's either way too light and airy or just a plank.
I was just in a hotel this week for work, and so this is fresh on my mind. Lovely hotel, lovely experience. They actually had 4 different kinds of pillows on the bed. So I had a king-size bed to myself and 8. I just wanted to make sure you understood it was to myself. And
Dude, you could have had sacks of crap to put under your head, and you still would have been happy because you were in this bed by yourself.
well, and I actually I was there facilitating some professional learning for kindergarten through 2nd grade teachers. And I actually told them the next morning, they were all saying how tired and none of them were staying at the hotel. It was all like within driving distance, but they were all talking about how tired they were after the first day. And I said, listen, I was in bed at 5. I'd showered. I was in bed at 5 o'clock. I had room service. I watched TV. I was asleep by 8:30. And I said, because you know what? I said, I have 4 kids. I was in a bed by myself, and you could see all the moms in the room start to nod and just look like this would be the best thing ever. And I said, in fact, my husband FaceTimed me this morning, and my 6-year-old was in bed with him. And I was like, look at this big bed all to myself.
It's so funny when you have these work things that people go on, because there's 2 types of people who go on these things, and just 2. There's the tired people, most likely parents, who do what you do, and they could not be happier.
I just didn't want to go anywhere.
But then there's the people who they take it upon themselves that this now is my chance. I'm away from my kids. I'm away from my husband or wife or whoever. I can go out and party and flirt with my coworkers and all of these things.
I would like you to know I was the former, not the latter.
Thank you. I didn't know I needed that reassurance.
You're welcome. Anyway, my point being that this hotel had about 8 different kinds of pillows on the bed, different textures, different consistencies. But I was thinking about the pillow problem and how this really is an issue and not being able to get comfortable. We always say we should bring our own pillows from home. You always say that. I need to bring my own pillow, and then we never do. We don't remember. My solution is that before you arrive at the hotel, they present you via email or an app a pillow menu. And it's not just, I want a firm pillow, I want a super soft pillow. It's really tailored to your pillow experience at home. So one of the options might be a 10-year-old pillow with drool stains on it. I mean, just really varied for whatever kind of pillow you have at home.
So they're going to have to keep all of these pillows in stock or...
All right. So if that's too much, then also another problem with sleeping the first night is that waking up in an unfamiliar place. A lot of the times the kids have a problem with that because they wake up and they forget where they are and they're a little bit out of sorts. So I am suggesting when you draw the curtains, there's a screen. You just upload a picture before you leave home. You take pictures of your bedroom space from all angles. There's screens, and you upload pictures of your sleeping environment from your bed so that when you wake up, it feels just like you're at home and no one stresses out.
You would want a picture when we have straightened up and cleaned.
That's true. I don't want the clothes laying on the floor. I want the socks thrown in the corner. I want the clean, because I'm away. I want a little bit of a luxury experience.
So it's funny that you mentioned screens, because one of my things that I was going to say that I ended up taking off of my list was you can make every hotel a destination hotel.
That's true.
If instead of windows, you have screens, and then you choose where you would like to be. Oh, look, the pyramids.
There you go. Because inevitably my window overlooks the parking lot, and or if it's a multi-level hotel, the roof of the below floor.
So I love the screen idea, and I like your idea even better. Okay, great. So your first idea, we have pre-ordered pillows, but then we're going to also add screens of an environment that you're used to seeing. So it wouldn't just be the windows, it would be like a wall screen.
Yeah, it would have to be.
And then one of the walls you can like turn on the TV, and
Yeah.
it could be the TV when you're not using it. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Mine you will immediately recognize as one of my prime issues with staying in a hotel. And I imagine that it is with a lot of couples.
Okay.
Even individuals, but especially couples or families. I need on every floor of the hotel a courtesy toilet.
Oh, yes. I hadn't thought about this, but yes.
It's so obvious that the worst thing when you're in a hotel room with another person is when they answer the call of nature, and then we have consequences.
Yes.
And depending on what you've had, maybe dire consequences. Or diarrhea
I was going to say
consequences.
dire being the operative part of that word.
Often, I will go down to the lobby.
You are very, very thoughtful about it. Yes.
Well, also, I don't want to smell that.
Yeah.
So
okay. Fair enough.
It's me as well. But if you just put a bathroom on the end of each hallway, right, with like 2 or 3 stalls, you don't need a lot. Problem solved.
Yes. And this is good for everybody because even if you are a solo traveler, you don't want to be stuck with the smell. So there you go.
Also, then we can just take the toilets out of the hotel room so we don't have to deal with that noise from other
that's true.
rooms as well.
Yeah, I have to pee too many times in the middle of the
And
night.
that's just okay. So how about a little bag with a nozzle or like a funnel?
Oh, good. Yeah, no, that's a really luxury experience that I'm paying money for to be in this
funnel.
hotel.
It could be a gold funnel.
Get out of here. I'm keeping my toilet.
All right, so courtesy toilets on every floor. Boom.
What I thought you were going to say is one of your issues is when the 6-year-old jumps around, you're concerned about the people on the floor below hearing him. I noticed it when I was staying on the 2nd floor, and I noticed people walking. I woke up probably 6:30 in the morning to get ready to go downstairs. I could hear people walking around in the morning, and so my suggestion. I thought about this. I'm like, how can we pad in between all the things? Okay, that's an option. However, I think that everybody upon check-in should have to do some sort of walking test. There should be some sort of pressure plate gauge for people walking because it doesn't have to be heavy people. This 6-year-old weighs 42 pounds, but he walks like he's a herd of elephants coming down the stairs.
Yes, but then what?
Well,
like you get the
then
walking test.
You get the walking test. They get the bottom floor. That's what those rooms are reserved for. If you are out of bottom floor rooms, then you give them like whatever the equivalent of those moon shoes are. So basically it was moon shoes, or also growing up, we had those shoes that were basically buckets turned upside down with ropes. So you would put your foot on one and then you'd have to walk around like this. Now that's a stomping noise, but if you put a pillow underneath it, then they're just walking on. And that's where you put the pillows that nobody wants from the pillow menu.
The only problem I see here is that you're putting stuff on people's feet, so the noise of them falling over is going to be much louder than.
All right, fine. So I need to do some more R&D. I need to involve Wilson Technologies in how we can cushion the floors. But I do think that having the walk test, that way we know you get put on the first floor, first come, so first serve to the heavy walkers, first floor.
My second one is loud people walking.
Okay.
Loud people walking is also one of my concerns, as you well know.
I know.
It does my head in to hear it, but I stress more about the kids doing it and you doing it. You're a very heavy walker.
I am a heavy
you
walker.
Stomp.
I do.
And you're a little.
And I always have.
You're a little thing, so I don't understand it.
No matter what I've weighed. I mean,
I think it's just like some sort of show of dominance.
That's
or
right.
Some Napoleonic thing.
I'm asserting my authority.
Respect my authority.
My solution is a little bit different, though. One of the things that the kids love to do is jump up and down on the bed. It's like they've never been in a bed before when they get to the hotel. Like, oh, what's this thing? And so they got to jump up. So I don't get that. Don't understand that compulsion, but it is a thing. My solution is very simple.
Bouncy pads for floors?
No. You open the door to the hotel room. It's just one big bed.
Oh, okay.
It's just one big bed, right? From wall to wall, a bed. And you take the other areas of the room and you put them in a common area outside, right? Mm-hmm. So if you need to work on a business proposal, you go to the little office room, just like shared office space.
Yeah.
That's a thing we already have. And, if you want to eat, you go to a kitchen area and you fix yourself something to eat. And in fact, the kitchen area can be stocked much more completely than you could have in a hotel room. So you could actually fix more things for yourself. It would be more accommodating.
Okay.
And one of the problems we have in our society that I think is getting worse and worse every day is our individualism. We are constantly separated. We don't have a third place. We don't have community gathering spaces anymore. I mean, we do, but people are going to them less and less. And so this would force people to be together. And I think that the general feeling of civility would go up if people constantly found themselves now in these situations where they had to be around other people and they had to behave and they had to learn how to deal with people. So in the hotel room, we've got just one giant mattress. I can't think of anything more lovely than opening my hotel room and just falling face first into a mattress and just laying there for the next few hours.
For the duration of your trip.
That's it.
I mean, this is a lovely thought about this outside eating area. However, I have been with you in the hotels where we've had to go down for hotel breakfast. You don't love being with the masses.
Right. I need to learn to get over that, don't I?
Yes.
I'm the problem with society is what we're saying. But
Yes.
I am willing to work on myself.
Okay. All right. Well, good. So I was pretty guaranteed that loud people walking was going to be one of yours. All right. My last solution is dealing with smells in hotel rooms. Now,
I dealt with that.
You dealt with
the courtesy toilet.
You dealt with one kind of smell. However, this last hotel that I just stayed in wound up being a lovely experience. But when I first checked in, the room smelled heavily of mildew, like very wet, like smelling. Right,
That's a problem.
So I went downstairs. Can I please get another room? No problem. Switched rooms. It was great. So something like people had put wet clothes or something had happened, because when I walked in, they also had the air conditioner running high, I think, to try to get it out of there. It wound up being such a good experience that I kept saying it. I think it was annoying the people I was with. I'm like, I really like the smell. I don't know what the smell is, but there was a smell in the lobby, and it translated to the rooms as well. It was just kind of this lovely, soft, powdery, soapy smell, but I really liked it. Smells are so subjective. I'm sure there are some people who get really annoyed by it, but I'm thinking, you know how hotel rooms are supposed to be smoke-free?
Yes.
And then there's the warning on the door that if you smoke, the sprinklers will go off, and then you're responsible for paying for all the damage. So my suggestion
Maybe that's what happened in the room you were in.
Maybe. My suggestion is something similar to the sprinklers for smoking, but we have a mechanism for whatever the smell is, something comes on to eliminate it. So for the person who brings home the leftover, salmon dinner and decides to microwave it in the hotel microwaving room, then the sprinklers come on and baking soda comes out because it absorbs smells, right? Smoking would be the sprinklers. You put your wet clothes out and it's going to cause a mildew smell. The room absorbs the moisture, and then giant fans come on. But there's some sort of consequence because you're not going to enjoy the sprinklers or the baking soda or the giant fans that make you feel like you're in a wind tunnel. But you have to pay for, some way or another, the fact that you've committed these odious problems.
It's very punitive. This is. You have to pay for it. And when the things come on, you are not allowed to leave the room. You have to stay in the room.
Stay in there with the baking soda, and you will never microwave fish again, because that's one of my big problems in a shared workspace. Do not microwave fish. Anyway, so my solution is some sort of system in the ceiling that will come on to evacuate all of the smells and make the people pay for their sins.
Punish is very Catholic of you. Oh my goodness. Okay. Smell elimination device that's punitive. All right, I'm writing this down. I've got a couple more. I don't like waiting for elevators, number one. I don't like when you go into an elevator and you step into a smell. That has happened too.
Yes. Well, it's because they didn't have the punitive elimination things in the elevator.
Yeah, well, being in an elevator is punitive most of the time and having to wait for one. I suggest that there be an option, a third option, because the other option is stairs.
Yeah.
Hotel stairs. It's like the worst place in a hotel that people are still allowed to visit. Like, I'm certain that the back areas where the staff goes, those are hellholes, right? Because they don't have to keep them up. And I've been in enough staff break rooms
Yeah.
to know that those things look like crap.
Yeah.
Right. So I want a third option.
Okay.
I want the option of slides.
How do you get up the slide?
I'm not worried about getting. We're leaving. We're getting out. We're
Okay.
getting out. Slides. And if there's a fire or something, perfect. That's what they do for airplanes anyway.
Right.
Emergency evacuation slides. And I want them to be the spiral roundy slides.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
that's also fun. And talk about kids. It would be so fun for them. They'd have something to do.
Yes. They would just go constantly be wanting to do this in the hotel.
As I'm leaving the hotel, the last thing I do in the hotel is I go to the roundy slide. I look up, make sure no one's coming. I toss my bag down. I go down. How lovely is that?
Okay.
Slides. Now, again, still have the elevators and the stairs for the people who just aren't down for the slide action.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm down for the slide action.
Well, it sounds kind of dirty. Do you remember those elevators in the hotel we stayed in New York last time where it was not big enough for us and our luggage?
Yes.
Because it was an old apartment built. I mean, it was a turn of the century 1800s apartment building. Very lovely. Very, very nice hotel. But those elevators were so tiny. We wound up taking the stairs a lot, and they were the twisty kind of stairs. So all they'd have to do is replace that with the slide.
Yes. And my last thing is sometimes we don't want housekeeping to come every day. Sometimes we don't need housekeeping to come every day. Sometimes we are resting in our hotel room while housekeeping comes by and they're not coming back and I don't want you to come in. I'm not wearing pants. Stay out. This isn't one of those funky videos on the internet. Do not want you to visit while I have no pants. But I want a fresh bed.
Okay.
I want fresh linens. What do?
I don't
Easy.
know.
Easy. We need to have the fabric equivalent of those paper rolls that doctors use on their exam tables.
Oh, yeah. No, this is smart.
Of course it is. Again, why do you always sound so freaking surprised? So it goes over the bed. There's a crank, at the foot of the bed, and just shh. And then when it's done, then housekeeping comes in and they take the entire roll and replace the roll so much quicker because all they have to do is click the roll in one side, pull it over, and then attach it on the other side so that you can, crank it through.
Yeah.
Done. Now, you ask yourself, well, what if there are, stains in the bed? What if there's liquid on the bed? That can come from, I don't know.
What you going to do with that sentence?
You spill your morning coffee.
That's
from
right.
room
Yes,
service.
there you go.
So you do make the mattress waterproof.
Right. Okay. Yes, good.
So that all you need to do is crank the thing through and then you don't have to worry about anything else.
Well, and I'm here to tell you that even if you spill, say, your morning coffee in the bed, the housekeeping people are not switching out the mattresses anyway. They're just putting new linens on.
I am so grossed out right now. I want to tell you, I've never thought of that before. I have never, ever thought of that before. I never want to stay in a hotel room again.
Too bad.
You know how many people's coffee,
I know.
is in those mattresses?
Oh, no.
Coffee with cream.
Yes.
Awful. Anyway, I want the option of having, of being able to put fresh linens on my bed. So I'm going to have the exam table equivalent in my hotel room.
You know what you shouldn't do in hotel rooms? Bring one of those luminol sticks that they use on crime scenes.
Yeah, no, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. We're done. Stop. We're not talking about that. We have 8 things, surprisingly.
Wow.
8 things. Pre-ordered pillows, fit to purpose. Yeah. Wall screens that you can either put your bedroom on so you can have a familiar, a scene, or the Taj Mahal.
Right.
Great Wall of China, the moon. Courtesy toilets at the end of every hallway. A walking test upon entry for noise. Entire rooms made out of beds. Just the whole floor is a bed. Smell elimination device that's quite punitive. Roundy slides. And the exam table roll, except for your bed with linens.
All right, so we have to get rid of 3 of these?
No, we don't get rid anymore. We just keep. It used to be that
we're keeping 5.
So we're keeping 5 because we've been told that any person that we send these to, they only have time enough for 5. So we're sending 5 to Johnny Vegas.
Johnny Vegas is very busy.
I don't think he is. I will let you go first.
I like the screen idea. Let's keep the screens.
Very good. Well, you know that the courtesy toilets, I'm keeping that. That's easy. In fact, if that's the only thing that's changed, then I'm happy.
I do like the sound elimination, but I don't feel like either one of ours is practical. Just having a whole room of bed would be hard for me to walk around and get ready and get dressed and everything.
Well, but you don't need to walk around. That's the point. The point
I'm
is
not going to crawl around.
No, you
roll around.
Why do you need to go around? You're there. You're there.
I have to get dressed. I tend to go to hotels now for work. I have to get up in the morning and get myself dressed in a way that is business appropriate.
Again, I want to hear the ones you want to keep. I don't want to waste time.
I'm making an argument that I don't think either one of those are practical.
Thank you.
I want the slides. I think that sounds fun.
Ooh, I'm glad you
picked
that.
Plus, also, we've had to evacuate a hotel in the middle of the night, and somebody was smoking in a hotel bathroom. The alarm went off. We had to evacuate, and we were stuck with hordes and hordes of people in the stairwell trying to get out. And so I think the slides would have been perfect.
I think I can go for your pillow idea, pre-ordered pillows. That and the courtesy toilet thing, I think that would just fix hotels for me, period.
Okay.
All right, one more, you get to pick it.
I'm here for the crank system for new linens.
Excellent.
Would you argue against that one for something else?
No, I'm surprised that you're not picking the punishing smell eliminator.
Because you made me feel bad about it being punitive.
You're just going to keep that rage in your heart.
Yes.
Excellent. So this is the hotel experience according to the Wilsons' new way of doing things. You pre-order your pillows. You send via computer with the same email where you pre-order your pillows. You send the images that you want projected on your screen so that when you go into the room, it's that environment that you want. Love that. Usually, as soon as I check into a hotel room, I got to go to the bathroom. I don't know what it is. And so I will go straight to the courtesy toilets while you go inside the room. You make sure that the exam table linen roll has been cranked to fresh linens. And then upon leaving, of course, we use the roundy slides. That's delightful.
This is a perfect hotel experience.
Welcome to the Wilson Hotel, Wilson Luxury Estates. All right, so I think that what has happened here is that now hotels are
unscrewed.
We have a listener letter, Amanda Wilson.
Oh,
and
good.
These listener letters, the reason why I like them, because our audience is on our side. Our audience asks questions that we need help with as well. And I love that because that means we're reaching the right demographic. Here we go. Dear Amanda and Josh, my kid keeps getting up in the middle of the night and coming into our bed. We can't sleep. What should we do? Signed, Sleepy in Sarasota.
Oh, goodness. Well, first of all, I appreciate that. Shout out to the movie. I have some experience with this. This is a thing that happens to us frequently. I hope you have an answer because I still don't have one.
Interesting thing happened last week when you were away and our little boy came into the room in the middle of the night. And I asked him what's wrong. He was half asleep, as he usually is. And I said, "You're fine. Go back to bed." And he did.
Really?
Yes. Now, that's not always going to work. But as a first option, I think that should be tried. Now, what we want to do is we want to keep the kid from coming in and waking us up because then we're awake. So what we need to have at the doorway of the child's bedroom is a motion-activated voice device that says, "You're fine. Go back to sleep."
Yes.
And maybe if it works 2 times out of 5, then that is great. Problem solved, right?
Let's try this because what happens to me is I don't hear him come in, but he just stands over me because he needs me to, he wants to sleep between us. So he comes to my side of the bed because I wake up easier than you. And he wants me to sit up so that he can crawl behind me and get between the two of us. But he doesn't call my name. He doesn't say anything. He just stands there and stares at me until I'm aware of this presence lording over me. And I wake up and it's him. So I don't even say, "You're fine, go back to bed," because I'm 1, terrified, and 2, really sleepy. And so I think that this motion activated, "You're fine, go back to bed" is a great idea.
Keeping with the idea of mitigating the child coming into your room, if that doesn't work, then upon falling asleep, the kid's asleep, what we do is we attach a tunnel to the doorway that leads directly into a giant hamster wheel. The hope is that they'll just keep walking. They'll just keep walking, and then get tuckered out, and then
sleep in the hamster
falls.
wheel?
Sure, whatever.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
Padded hamster wheel. Now, if the child comes into the room, how about we set up a dummy bed in front of our bed that has two life-size mannequins of us, and see if that will divert the child into that bed.
Well, that would work the one time until they woke up the next morning and were terrified, thinking that we had died.
Oh, well. Well, we can make the mannequins those breathing mannequins. They have little pet dolls that breathe. Or actually they have like little child dolls that breathe. Very lifelike. Just get a couple of those. So instead of thinking we died, the child would just think that we're not waking up.
Well, that's also really tragic. So maybe we rethink this part of this. Dear listener, dear Sleepless in Sarasota, try the first two. Maybe not the last one.
If you're desperate.
That's right.
You're still in the room, though.
I know. I just think that it could cause years of therapy.
Listen, our kid's already up for that. Our kid already has it booked. It's going to start in 10 years.
That's right.
All right, so I'm hoping that is helpful to you. And if it works, let us know, and then we'll try it. And we might try the voice-activated thing. We've got some of these devices that talk. We'll try that.
We needed to get Alexa involved in that.
1, 2, 3, 4. All right, Amanda, I think that we've unscrewed as much as we can unscrew for the day. I feel really good that we have helped humanity today.
Yep. It'll make your travel experiences much more pleasurable.
We are a part of the Whole Care Network. The Whole Care Network is a network of people who help people who help people. And they are the luckiest people. Go to thewholecarenetwork.com and check out their resources. Not only a network of podcasts, but also educational resources if you are a caregiver, if you are a person who provides aid and comfort to someone else. You won't regret it. All right, friends, until next week, just remember, whatever you do,
don't screw it up.
Bye.
Bye.
It feels like she's the circus pulling into town.